my name's Colleen Beeman, and I'm with GRS Recruiting, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the first of many webinars presented by the Fluid Power Network. And before I introduce today's speaker, there's a couple of housekeeping notes, just so everybody knows everybody will be muted. There's a question pane over on the side. If you have any questions, just type them in there, and we'll hold them till the end. There's also a little hand button that you can raise your hand if you want to ask a question immediately. Also, if you know anyone that couldn't attend today that would be interested in listening to the presentation, we're going to be recording it, and it'll be saved and accessible on the Fluid Power Network website. So now, I'd like to introduce you to today's speaker, Randy Bobbitt, who has been so kind to give us an hour of his time and share some of his expertise on a couple of key topics that he realizes is critical in today's economy. And if you're new to the fluid power industry or just have not heard of Randy Bobbitt, he brings over 25 years of engineering and sales training experience from world-class organizations in the energy, biomedical, industrial hydraulic, and mobile hydraulic industries. And for more information on his services at Kinesis Development, his website and phone number are available on the Fluid Power Network and also on the first slide of the presentation. So without further delay, I introduce you to Randy Bobbitt.
Well, thank you, Colleen. I really appreciate everything you've done in hosting and emceeing this. Want to welcome everyone who's online right now. This is, if anybody is familiar with the GoToWebinar, it is a very fascinating tool that really saves a lot of time and money from several different perspectives, and allows me to speak to, or allows anybody to speak to several hundred people at once. So I want to thank you for your valuable time today in being here. First of all, before we get started, just make sure everything is cool. Could everybody raise their hand? There is a section here where I just want to get acknowledgement that everybody is actually hearing us and everything is working properly. Okay, we got hands raised. Very good. All right. Thank you very much. Anyway, where was I? Also, I'd like to thank you for answering my registration questions, and they help me understand who is with me today in the audience, and how I can hone this in for you. This is going to be a rather abstract subject for some. There may be some expectations of what I'm going to be getting into hardcore. I don't have a lot of time to get into the meat of it, and I am known to be I have won the Zephyrus Award, which is the god of the wind, so I'm going to try to keep this under control as much as possible. I see that several of you are in the sales organization. Some are in service, some are independent consultants, and so most of what I have to say today is geared towards the more of the distributor sales sector. I'm going to use that as an example, but it can pertain to really any sort of level of organization. So I would like to acknowledge the salespeople that are with us today again, because they are the eyes and ears and the mind of the organization. They play a very important role. So as far as who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and why I'm no longer in the middle of corporate America, fluid power. We started a company about approximately 4 years ago called Kinesis Development, LLC. And this was out of a long-term interest that I had in human development and how the mind works, and how people, just generally speaking, have either a negative way about them or a positive way about them. So one thing led to another, and decided to get into this line of work. So what our company does, we're a personal or human and organizational development company, and we help people and organizations identify their blind spots and try to help them find the solutions for them. So that's our core goal of what we do. So we'll move on to, hopefully this is working correctly. There we go. In review of what we're going to be doing today, this was actually in the outline. First of all, we're going to talk about some of the knowns in our industry as well as a lot of other industries, but I'm going to be focusing more into the fluid power. Could talk a little bit about the sales process. Most of you salespeople, I know, probably have had a lot of this training if you're well seasoned, especially if you are a commissioned only type of salesperson. I would be very, very surprised if you didn't know any of what I'm going to be talking about in that area. And then paying it forward to the customer. We're going to talk about ways of how you can enhance the relationship with the customer in order to maintain that loyalty, that customer loyalty that you want to receive from them. Maintaining the customer is really the name of the game these days. Making them takes a lot of work, and as many of you know, it takes maybe about three very disgruntled discussions to lose one, and all in a couple days. So, and then we're going to go into the formula for winning results and talk a little bit more about some of the processes and how they work within Kinesis development. Man, my little computer is really thinking. Okay, so performance challenges, what is it? We're going to start off with it being a degradation of skills, which are interpersonal, degradation of focus, which is organizational goals, and degradation of knowledge, which is what I'm going to call a career craft. So I'm going to differentiate skills from knowledge by saying skills in what we're looking at as skills are how we interrelate to other people. There's a lot of folks that start in an organization in a very technical role or a manufacturing role of some sort, and they work their way up into the company, into management. And there's a lot of transitional skill sets that are required in order to manage people. Obviously, the degradation of focus is okay. We have these organizational goals. Are we maintaining them? Are we staying on top of them? Does everybody understand what they are? It's more on the communication side of things. And of course, for the individual, focus is a very, very difficult subject, as you know. As fast as the world turns and moves these days, and all the bombardment of everything we're exposed to, it makes it very difficult to focus. There's a lot of distractions, not counting the 100 commercials per hour on television. So, and then the degradation of knowledge, which is a career craft. A lot of folks these days are very focused on business, more so in a right brain mode, which is more the business sector, more the art sector, humanitarian sector, and then we're losing a lot of. With that, we're losing a lot on the technical side, on the left brain side, which is more of the engineering side. It just seems like all the value systems are shifting over to the right brain, into the business sector, versus the people who really know how to turn the wrenches and make things work. And so this combination of things is what I like to talk about today. And I noticed this working for Sard and Foss and working very closely with customers. Notice over the period of about 5 years how the level of questions really changed over that period of time in terms of where I felt I should go with a person with a particular it could be a technical question, and how up until when I jumped into Kinesis, it was at a level which I would have considered 5 years ago to be a very embarrassing question, such as customer has a